Belief is the first weapon every winner learns to use, long before he has money, long before he has strength, long before he has status. Belief is the internal engine that turns an ordinary man into a force the world cannot ignore. And the problem with most people is that they think belief is optional, like confidence appears magically one morning and suddenly they become unstoppable. It doesn't work like that. Belief is a discipline. Belief is a decision. Belief is something you build every single day, especially on the days when you don't feel powerful at all. You have to understand something fundamental about life. The universe responds to certainty. It bends to conviction. It opens doors only for the man who walks toward them like they belong to him. The world has no interest in rewarding people who doubt themselves, who hesitate, who second-guess every decision they make. If you cannot convince yourself that you are destined to win, why should the world take you seriously? Why should opportunity take you seriously? Why should success waste its time on you? There are men out there right now, less talented than you, less skilled than you, less intelligent than you, but they believe in themselves with such intensity that the universe has no choice but to give them momentum. They don't wait to feel confident. They behave confidently until reality adjusts itself to match their belief. That is the difference between people who win and people who spend their entire life wondering why nothing good ever happens to them. Belief is not about hype. It's not about screaming affirmations in the mirror or pretending you're strong when you're not. Belief is built through action. Belief is built through discipline. Belief is built when you do the hard things you promised yourself you would do. Every time you follow through, your mind learns to trust you. And a mind that trusts you is a mind that will allow you to do impossible things. Most people can't win because they do not trust themselves. They wake up making promises they never keep. They lie to themselves more than anyone else lies to them. And eventually their mind says, "Why should I believe in you?" You never do what you say. When you believe in your mission, when you believe in your capability, your brain stops fighting you. It becomes your partner instead of your prison. That's when everything changes. That's when your energy rises, your focus sharpens, and your spirit refuses to accept excuses. Belief turns you into a machine that doesn't quit when it gets tired, doesn't doubt when it gets challenged, and doesn't fold when life tries to break you. Most people fail before they even start because they enter the battlefield already defeated in their mind. They walk like they're hoping things go right instead of expecting things to go right. Winners don't hope. Winners don't wish. Winners decide. They say, "This is happening because I said so." And then they match that belief with relentless action until the world has no choice but to agree with them. You have to stop negotiating with doubt. You have to stop entertaining weakness. You have to stop giving fear a seat at the table. When doubt enters your mind, you don't debate with it. You don't reason with it. You attack it. You overpower it with action. You drown it with discipline. And the more you do that, the quieter it becomes until eventually it dies altogether. That is how belief is built. Not through motivation, through repeated dominance over your own mind. Look at the most powerful people in history. None of them started with guarantees. None of them knew for certain that the world would accept their vision, but they acted like it would. They believed so aggressively that their belief infected everyone around them. Confidence is contagious. Certainty is magnetic. People follow the man who believes, not the man who hesitates. The world gives power to the man who already walks like he has it. When you carry belief, your posture changes. The way you talk changes. The way you breathe changes. You walk into a room differently. You demand respect without asking for it. And life responds. Opportunities appear. People take notice. Momentum starts building. Not because you got lucky, but because you finally decided to stop acting like a loser and started acting like someone who deserves to win. Belief is not the reward. Belief is the starting point. It is the foundation of every victory you will ever achieve. If your belief is weak, everything above it collapses. But if your belief is unbreakable, then no matter what happens, no matter who doubts you, no matter what obstacles stand in your way, you keep moving because you already decided the outcome long before the world could see it. Pressure is the silent test that separates the men who succeed from the men who waste their lives complaining. Nobody wakes up one day and wins without stress, without challenges, without that unbearable weight pressing down on their shoulders. Pressure is not optional, it's inevitable. It's the cost of ambition. The price you pay if you want to step into a league above everyone else. And the sad truth is most people see pressure as an enemy. They see it as a reason to stop, a reason to quit, a reason to give up. That is why they never get what they want. The universe does not hand out trophies for comfort, for ease, or for playing it safe. The universe rewards those who can endure pressure and turn it into power. Every successful person on the planet has felt pressure like a physical force squeezing them from all sides. Some call it stress, some call it fear, some call it life pushing back. But the men who win don't run. They don't complain. They don't sit and wait for the pressure to disappear. They lean into it. They welcome it because they know pressure is the only tool that can forge greatness. Pressure shows you exactly what you are made of. It exposes weakness and separates it from strength. It reveals who is willing to fight for victory no matter how hard it gets, and who will crumble at the first sign of resistance. Pressure is also the ultimate teacher. Pain and discomfort are signals that your limits are being tested, that your capacity for greatness is expanding. Every time you feel the burn, every time you are pushed to your breaking point, you are learning. The world punishes weak men, but it trains strong men. Pressure is the tuition fee of champions. It teaches patience, endurance, and resilience. Most men avoid it because it hurts, because it is uncomfortable. Winners seek it because they understand that nothing valuable ever comes without cost. You need to stop thinking life is supposed to be easy. That is the mindset of a loser. Life is hard. Life will punish you if you are not prepared. Life will give more to the man who is willing to endure, to take responsibility, to be uncomfortable in the pursuit of his goals. The people who succeed are not luckier than you. They are simply tougher. They have learned to embrace the weight, the tension, the pressure, and they have allowed it to sculpt them into a weapon that can dominate any challenge. Pressure also exposes the weak bonds in your life. It shows you who really supports you, who is there when things are easy, and who disappears when things get tough. And it also shows you your own internal weaknesses. Are you disciplined enough to handle responsibility when the stakes are high? Are you patient enough to continue when the results don't come immediately? Are you mentally tough enough to endure when everything is falling apart around you? Pressure doesn't lie. It doesn't negotiate. It doesn't excuse. It is a mirror that reflects your true character back at you. Most men fear failure, but failure only comes when you run from pressure. Failure is not falling down. It is refusing to get back up. Pressure is the path that shows you how to rise stronger each time you are knocked down. Pressure forces you to face reality. It strips away illusions. It leaves you with nothing but yourself and the challenge in front of you. And if you learn to thrive under that weight, there is no limit to what you can accomplish. When you embrace pressure, you gain control. You stop being a victim of circumstances and start being a master of your destiny. You understand that the more weight you carry, the more powerful you become. That stress, responsibility, and difficulty are not obstacles but opportunities. Every challenge, every demanding moment, every situation that feels impossible is a chance to prove to yourself that you are made for more. Men who succeed do not wait for perfect conditions. They do not wait for pressure to ease. They create their own path in the chaos, and they dominate because they have trained themselves to thrive when everything is stacked against them. They understand that the universe respects strength, resilience, and the ability to endure. Pressure is the ultimate test, and if you can learn to walk through it, if you can learn to see it as a tool instead of a threat, you can achieve what most men will only ever dream about. Pressure is unavoidable. It is constant. It is relentless. But it is also the fuel for excellence. It is the force that transforms ordinary men into champions, ordinary days into milestones, and ordinary decisions into victories. There is no shortcut, no escape, and no substitute. The moment you accept pressure as your ally instead of your enemy, the moment you stop shrinking from it and start feeding off it, that is when you begin to rise above the rest. The world will try to break you. Life will push harder than you think you can handle. But the men who understand the price of victory will not fold. They will not complain. They will not quit. They will endure. They will conquer. Because pressure is not just a part of the journey. It is the journey, and it is what transforms a man into a force the world cannot ignore. Your habits are not just actions you perform. They are declarations of who you are and predictions of who you are becoming. Every decision you make, every action you repeat, every routine you commit to or avoid is a vote for the version of yourself that will dominate tomorrow. Most people live their lives passively, thinking that success is a matter of luck or timing, but the truth is far more ruthless. Success is not an accident. It is the sum of small choices made consistently over time. And your habits are the ballot, casting votes silently every day for the outcome of your future. Look at the average person's life. They wake up, check their phone, scroll through meaningless content, eat the wrong food, avoid exercise, postpone responsibility, and complain about their circumstances. Every one of these small, seemingly insignificant actions is a vote for mediocrity, a vote for weakness, a vote for failure. And yet they act surprised when their lives reflect exactly what they have been planting through their daily choices. The world doesn't reward intentions, it rewards results. And results are produced not by random effort, but by deliberate, consistent action. Habits are the invisible architecture of success. They build your reality quietly while the majority of people are distracted and uninspired. You need to understand the power of repetition. Excellence is not a single act performed once. It is repeated over and over until it becomes second nature. Champions don't rely on bursts of motivation because motivation fades. Champions rely on the systems they have created, the routines that are non-negotiable, the discipline that shapes them before the world even sees them. Habits are the framework of victory, and every habit you embrace is like casting a vote for the man you want to become. Your morning routine, your work ethic, the way you treat people, how you respond to setbacks, how you manage your time, all of these are voting in your favor or against you. If you sleep late, skip workouts, waste hours online, and feed your mind with negativity, then your votes are going to the loser version of yourself. If you wake up early, train your body, sharpen your mind, read, plan, execute, and follow through, your votes are building a champion. Every day you repeat good habits, you compound your advantage. Every day you neglect them, you compound your disadvantage. This is the truth that separates winners from dreamers. Habits are also invisible until their results are undeniable. Most people ignore their habits because the payoff seems distant. They expect instant gratification, instant results, instant recognition. But real power is silent and invisible until it manifests as dominance. The man who masters his habits today will be unrecognizable in a year. The man who squanders his time will continue to complain in the same place he started. Life is relentless. It does not wait for you to wake up or catch up. Every habit, good or bad, accumulates relentlessly, and the results will arrive whether you are ready or not. The key to building powerful habits is not merely setting goals. Goals are targets, but habits are the engine that drives you toward them. Goals without habits are fantasies. Habits without goals are discipline waiting for purpose. When you combine habits with intention, your votes become decisive. You are no longer a passive observer of your life. You are the architect. You are the general. You are the one who determines which version of yourself will win the battle for tomorrow. You also need to realize that habits influence not only what you do, but who you become at your core. Every action shapes your identity. The person who trains every day becomes strong. The person who reads daily becomes wise. The person who disciplines their mind and body develops unbreakable resilience. Habits sculpt character, and character determines destiny. Weak habits produce weak character. Weak character produces weak results. It is that simple. Strength, wealth, influence, success, all of it is built habit by habit, vote by vote, day by day. The moment you understand this, your approach to life changes. You stop waiting for the perfect moment. You stop blaming external circumstances. You stop hoping things get easier. Instead, you focus on what you control: your choices, your routines, your consistency. You take full responsibility for the votes you are casting. You stop leaving your future to chance and start engineering it through deliberate, repeated action. Every habit becomes a lever, every choice a step toward the life you are destined to claim. Habits are relentless. They don't negotiate. They don't take breaks. They accumulate. The man who wins understands this and uses it as his weapon. He stacks small victories into a mountain of unstoppable momentum. He knows that greatness is not about occasional heroics. It is about consistency, repetition, and the discipline to follow the path when no one is watching. Every habit is a vote for the man he will become, and he never casts a vote against himself. Most people fail because they underestimate the subtle, compounding power of habits. They chase motivation, inspiration, excitement, or luck, thinking these will carry them. They are wrong. The foundation of all success is invisible, mundane, repetitive work done consistently. Habits are the machinery of life. They are the force that decides whether you rise or fall, whether you dominate or fade, whether you leave a legacy or become forgotten. You must choose your habits carefully. Every time you act, every time you repeat a behavior, every time you make a choice, you are voting. And these votes, without fail, add up. They define your destiny. They shape your life. They tell the universe who you are and what you demand. The man who controls his habits controls his future. The man who ignores them allows life to control him. It is that simple, it is that brutal, and it is entirely in your hands. Isolation is not punishment. Isolation is power. Is the secret weapon of every man who rises above mediocrity, every person who achieves what others only dream about. Most people fear being alone. They fill their lives with distractions, entertainment, social media, meaningless chatter, and shallow connections because they are terrified of facing themselves. They are afraid of the silence because the silence forces them to confront their weaknesses, their excuses, and the truth about who they really are. But the truth is that isolation is not something to fear, it is the crucible where dominance is forged. When you remove the noise, the chaos, and the constant input from the world, you gain clarity. You begin to see your life, your choices, your habits, and your ambitions with precision. Isolation gives you the ability to focus on what really matters without interruption. The distractions that pull the average man in every direction are gone. There is only you, your mind, your body, and the work that needs to be done. This is where preparation becomes unstoppable. This is where you discover the limits of your endurance, the depths of your creativity, and the raw power that exists within you when you are fully committed. The men who win in life spend a significant amount of time alone. They disappear for seasons of their lives, not out of cowardice or fear, but out of purpose. They disappear so that they can build skills, develop strategies, and strengthen themselves in a world that constantly tries to weaken them. While everyone else is busy scrolling, gossiping, and seeking comfort in numbers, these men are grinding. They are learning, training, studying, and executing. And when they reappear, the world takes notice because the results of their isolation cannot be ignored. Isolation magnifies effort, focus, and discipline. Isolation also teaches self-reliance. When you are alone, you cannot blame others for your failures. You cannot hide behind excuses or distractions. You are forced to confront reality head-on. You are forced to depend on your own mind, your own skill, and your own willpower. This builds confidence, strength, and independence. The world will try to test you, push you, and break you. If you cannot stand alone, if you cannot make decisions and take action without constant guidance or validation, you will always be at the mercy of external forces. Dominance is rooted in self-reliance, and self-reliance is cultivated in isolation. Many men are addicted to the opinions of others. They seek approval, validation, and acceptance because they are afraid of standing alone. They fear judgment because they have not trained themselves to trust their own judgment. Isolation forces you to confront this fear. It forces you to make decisions without applause, without recognition, and without confirmation from the world. And when you master this, you step into a version of yourself that is unstoppable. You develop an internal authority that no external force can shake. You become the man who does not need permission to succeed because your belief in yourself is unshakable. Isolation also accelerates learning and mastery. When the average man is distracted by constant socializing and meaningless interaction, he stagnates. He wastes time that could have been spent practicing, studying, or creating. But the man who embraces isolation uses the time to refine his skills, to increase his knowledge, and to push his limits. Isolation is like a magnifying glass that focuses effort into results. It allows you to become an expert faster than those who are constantly surrounded by noise and distraction. The discomfort of being alone is temporary. The power gained from it is permanent. Most men quit when things get uncomfortable. They run toward comfort, seeking temporary relief from the challenge of isolation. Winners do the opposite. They embrace discomfort. They understand that discomfort is a signal that they are growing, evolving, and building something greater than themselves. Isolation is uncomfortable because it strips away excuses, but it is precisely this discomfort that molds a man into someone extraordinary. Isolation also teaches patience and strategic thinking. When you are alone, you learn to wait, you learn to plan. You learn to anticipate, calculate, and execute with precision. The world moves fast, but most men move without strategy. Isolation slows you down in the right way. It forces you to think, reflect, and analyze before acting. This is why men who spend time away from distraction consistently outperform those who are constantly reacting to the noise around them. Isolation gives you the edge. It gives you the clarity, focus, and foresight necessary to dominate your field. Most importantly, isolation builds mental toughness. Life is not fair. Life is harsh. Challenges, setbacks, and betrayals will come. If you cannot endure solitude, if you cannot sit with your own thoughts and face your own fears, you will crumble when the real pressure hits. Isolation teaches resilience. It teaches discipline. It teaches self-mastery. The man who can thrive alone can thrive anywhere. He can conquer any situation because he has already conquered the hardest opponent himself. Those who understand the power of isolation rise above the crowd. They do not follow trends, they create them. They do not react to the world, they shape it. While the majority are distracted by comfort, entertainment, and social approval, they are quietly preparing for domination. Their results appear overnight, but the work behind it has been done in silence, away from prying eyes and shallow opinions. Isolation is not emptiness, it is a strategy. It is a weapon. It is the forge where champions are made, the arena where dominance is cultivated, and the ground where ordinary men are transformed into legends. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is not a warning sign telling you to stop. Pain is a command, an instruction, a signal that the universe is testing your limits and demanding that you rise above them. Most men feel pain and shrink from it. They see it as punishment, as a reason to quit, as evidence that they are not cut out for success. That is why most men live small lives, filled with excuses and regrets. But the men who dominate, the men who achieve the extraordinary, they do the opposite. They feel pain and they accelerate. They lean into it. They let it drive them, sharpen them, and fuel them toward a level of performance and achievement that the weak cannot comprehend. Pain is unavoidable. Life will always test you. The question is not whether it will happen. The question is how you will respond when it does. Will you give up, complain, and surrender to weakness, or will you take it as a message, a challenge, and an opportunity to grow stronger? Every champion in history has faced intense pain, and every champion has learned to use it as fuel. Pain is a teacher, not a barrier. Pain reveals your limits, exposes your weaknesses, and provides a map of what you need to overcome in order to reach the next level. Most men fail because they see discomfort and recoil. They want things easy, effortless, and safe. But success is never safe. Comfort is a trap. Growth is forged in the fire of struggle, and struggle always hurts. The gym hurts, the grind hurts, rejection hurts, setbacks hurt. Pain is the universal price for greatness, and the man who understands this will never run from it. He will welcome it. He will seek it. He will use it as evidence that he is on the right path. If it doesn't hurt, it means you're not moving forward. If it doesn't challenge you, it means you are settling. Pain also teaches resilience. There is no shortcut to mental toughness. It is built by repeatedly facing difficult situations and refusing to collapse. The moment you accept that pain is a natural part of life, you no longer fear it. You no longer let it dictate your choices. You no longer allow it to be an excuse for failure. Instead, you use it as a weapon. You let it push you harder, train you longer, and refine your character. Pain separates the weak from the strong because only the strong can endure it without losing themselves. Physical pain, emotional pain, financial pain, mental pain, they all function the same way. They demand your attention. They require action. They signal growth. A man who can endure all forms of pain without complaint, without surrender, becomes unstoppable. He learns to control himself, his responses, and his circumstances. Pain teaches discipline. Pain teaches patience. Pain teaches perspective. It reminds you that nothing worth achieving comes easy, and everything worth having requires effort, sacrifice, and endurance. Pain also exposes truth. When everything is comfortable, it is easy to deceive yourself. It is easy to pretend that you are progressing when in reality you are stagnant. Pain strips away illusions. It forces you to confront reality. It forces you to face your weaknesses, confront your fears, and acknowledge the areas where you are not prepared. Most men avoid this confrontation because it is uncomfortable. Champions face it because they understand that truth, no matter how painful, is the path to dominance. The world will never coddle you. Life will never soften its challenges because you are afraid. If you are unwilling to endure, you will be left behind. The man who embraces pain does not wait for perfect conditions. He does not seek comfort or avoidance. He attacks the challenges in front of him, uses the discomfort as fuel, and becomes stronger with every obstacle. Pain is the gym of the soul. It sculpts resilience, builds courage, and teaches lessons that no book, no mentor, and no shortcut can ever provide. Pain is also a test of commitment. When the journey gets hard, most men quit. They rationalize, they justify, they make excuses. But those who succeed use pain as proof that they are on the right path. The more it hurts, the more they know they are growing. The more it challenges them, the more they realize they are progressing faster than anyone who is comfortable. Pain is not the enemy of achievement, it is the indicator that you are moving in the right direction. Finally, pain teaches endurance. Life is not about one victory or one achievement. Life is a series of challenges, and the men who dominate are the men who can endure continuously, day after day, year after year, without surrender. Pain tests your endurance, and endurance builds power. The man who learns to thrive in pain is not only prepared for the challenges of life, he is prepared to dominate them. Pain does not break him. It strengthens him. It drives him. It shapes him into a version of himself that cannot be defeated by circumstance, fear, or weakness. The weak run from pain. The average man fears it. The champion embraces it. Pain is not a signal to quit. It is a command to rise, to fight, to push harder, to grow stronger, and to become a man the world cannot ignore. It is the voice that tells you that you are not finished, that there is more inside you than you ever imagined, and that greatness is only achieved by those willing to endure the fire and keep moving forward. 2026 is coming, and it will not wait for anyone. The clock is ticking, and every second that passes is a second someone else is using to get ahead. The people who dominate the next year, the people who rise above the crowd and claim the opportunities others only dream about, are not the ones who wait for perfect timing. They are not the ones who make excuses, who delay, who hope for circumstances to align. They are the ones who start now. They understand that the world rewards urgency, action, and those willing to seize the moment while the weak sit on the sidelines, waiting for a miracle that will never come. Too many men enter a new year hoping it will be different. They tell themselves, next year I will get in shape. Next year I will start my business. Next year I will invest in myself. But next year comes every year, and the results are always the same excuses, the same failures, the same stagnation. Success is never handed out to those who procrastinate. It is given to the man who prepares, plans, and acts relentlessly, regardless of how he feels or how the world treats him. Waiting is a trap, and hesitation is a killer. 2026 will not be generous to those who spend it wishing instead of doing. The men who own the future do not wait for inspiration. They do not wait to feel ready. They take action immediately, and they build momentum every single day. Momentum is the most powerful weapon in the world. A man who starts now, even imperfectly, gains experience, knowledge, and confidence that those who wait will never have. The longer you delay, the further behind you fall. Every hour you waste is a chance someone else is using to move ahead, to dominate, to secure the life you claim you want. And the reality is, brutal life does not care about excuses, hopes, or intentions. Life only rewards results, and results require immediate action. 2026 will be dominated by men who are relentless. Men who understand that starting now is more important than starting perfectly. Perfection is the enemy of progress. Waiting for the perfect plan, the perfect timing, or the perfect opportunity only ensures you will never move. Those who take imperfect action now will learn faster, grow faster, and achieve more than anyone who hesitates. Experience is the greatest teacher, and the sooner you start, the sooner you acquire it. The world does not reward potential, it rewards execution. And execution starts with a decision to act immediately, without delay. Starting now also builds confidence that waiting cannot. Every time you act, every time you take a step toward your goal, you prove to yourself that you are capable. Doubt diminishes because action silences it. Fear weakens because movement strengthens it. Hesitation fades because results appear. The man who starts now develops a momentum that compounds over time. By the time 2026 is halfway through, he will already be leagues ahead of the average man who spent the first months thinking, planning, and making excuses. The gap between the prepared and the unprepared grows every day, and starting now is the only way to close that gap in your favor. The reality is simple. The world moves fast. Opportunity does not wait for comfort, readiness, or approval. There will always be competition. There will always be challenges. There will always be someone more prepared, more aggressive, and more disciplined than you. The only way to claim dominance is to start immediately and relentlessly pursue your goals. Delaying is surrendering. Waiting is losing. Every day you hesitate, you are giving your future to someone else who is already acting. Starting now also teaches accountability. When you begin immediately, you confront your weaknesses, your limitations, and the reality of what it takes to succeed. You cannot hide behind excuses, procrastination, or delay. You must perform, adapt, and overcome in real time. This builds resilience, skill, and mental toughness that cannot be acquired any other way. The man who starts now becomes a force because he has trained himself to act under pressure, to make decisions, and to pursue results relentlessly long before the world demands them. Those who dominate 2026 understand that action is the great equalizer. Talent, luck, and opportunity are nothing without execution. You can have all the ideas, knowledge, and potential in the world, but if you do not start now, if you do not move, if you do not act, someone else will take the life, the business, the success, or the opportunity you dreamed about. The world does not wait, and it will not apologize for your delay. The man who acts first, acts fastest, and acts most relentlessly is the man who will dominate the year and leave the rest behind. Timing is an illusion. Waiting for the perfect moment is a trap designed to keep you small. The only time you truly have is now, and the only way to secure your future is to claim it immediately. The man who starts now develops clarity, focus, and momentum that the hesitant will never experience. He moves with purpose, intensity, and urgency because he understands that every second counts. 2026 will belong to those who act decisively, boldly, and without delay, while everyone else remains frozen by doubt, fear, and procrastination. Starting now also creates a psychological advantage. When you commit fully today, you establish a standard for yourself that becomes impossible to ignore. You tell your mind, your environment, and your future self that you are serious, that you will not negotiate, and that you will accept nothing less than domination. This mindset compounds, attracting resources, opportunities, and results faster than anyone who waits. By the time others realize the importance of action, the man who started now is already leagues ahead, unstoppable, and unchallenged in his momentum. The difference between winners and losers is not opportunity, luck, or talent. It is timing and action. The man who starts now wins. The man who hesitates falls behind. 2026 is not going to be generous. It is going to be dominated by men who act decisively, ruthlessly, and without waiting. Those who delay will watch others succeed while they remain stagnant. And the only way to prevent that is to act immediately, without hesitation, and with relentless intensity every single day. Everything we've discussed today, belief, pressure, habits, isolation, pain, and the urgency to start now, comes down to one undeniable truth. Victory is reserved for those who are willing to do what others will not. The world does not reward excuses, hesitation, or comfort. It rewards relentless action, unshakeable belief, and the courage to push forward when every fiber of your body is screaming to quit. If you want 2026 to belong to you, you must decide right now that you will rise above the noise, above the distractions, and above the excuses that have held you back. You must embrace pressure, endure pain, sharpen your habits, and trust in the power of isolation to build the unstoppable version of yourself. You must act immediately, because every second you delay is a second someone else is using to get ahead. Remember, the man who believes he will win already has a head start on the rest of the world. Belief transforms thoughts into actions, actions into habits, habits into momentum, and momentum into domination. There is no room for hesitation, no room for fear, and no room for doubt. If you want victory, if you want greatness, if you want to live a life most men only dream about, you must act, start now, and never stop. So take this moment as your turning point. Step into the discomfort, embrace the challenge, and commit fully to your destiny. Believe you will win, and the universe will have no choice but to bend in your favor.